around 2 in the morning, rest is getting harder.
Hello, welcome, Devil Sniper here, episode 15, season number 1, saving Sampdoria, and it's time to do some business. As you know, we are looking for a centre-back, we are looking for a striker, and I've decided to look for a tank to sit in the middle of the park as a CDM and be versatile enough to play in a 3-5-2, a 4-1-2-1-2, and yeah, we're just going to have a look at some players. As you see, I had a little look at Gabaladini. Now, Gabaladini is a player that's been recommended to me countless times, and to be honest with you, he does look a fantastic player. The only problem we have is A, he's expensive, B, he's on loan, so therefore we can't touch him until season number 2. Now, Marcos Rojo looked a very, very good prospect to me, but the £4.2 million really does put me off. On the other hand, Marco Rojas at 180,000 is what the club rumoured to want, or should we say between 106 and 253, I think is a pretty good opportunity to bring in a player who can play in a rotational system, give us some more options on the right hand side, and with 6 months left on his contract, I would be pretty hopeful that we'll be able to secure a deal for him, hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood. Now, obviously, you're pretty sure that you guys worked out that the guy I was talking about at FC20 was, of course, Luke, and at 7.5 million, I'm not put off that much because I know he's got great potential. I mean, he's 20 years old with a 74 rating. Looking at Frederick Sorensen, 4.1 million. Again, I think it's a lot of money for that player personally. That's my opinion on that one. Obviously, when I was talking about a tank in the centre of the park, I had to look at Diami. Who else would I look at than Diami? Or Sissoko, but we're not going to look at Sissoko, and we might be bringing Diami in, but I'm not 100% sure because I want to use players that I haven't used before. I know we've used Diego Rios before in a different career mode, but I would like to bring him into Sampdoria because I don't think he got really a fair stint at West Ham. He was injured and then he just went off the ball and wasn't the same player, so I feel that one was always a bit of a give me. Plus, at the same time, I don't want to bring in too many players because I want to keep a real good nucleus of Sampdoria players. You know, we've got Sergio, we've got Mustafa, we've got Rossini. You know, we're going to keep the likes of those. Obviously, we're going to keep Niad because he's fantastic. Marcelo is fantastic. I just need a little bit more squad rotation going to this second part of the season where we need to really put our foot down, get a good run of form going, get a good run of consistency going, get a good run of results, to be honest. We need to pick up those points desperately to put ourselves in that playoff position, stay in that playoff position, and progress to the next league, which is obviously Superliga 1, which we all want to be in because that means we're making progress and it's good for the club, and that at the end of the day is what we need because we're short of cash as a club. You know, the club's taken out a bank loan to fund some transfers in this window, which is pretty scary. So we're travelling away to Molde, and we spent some time in Norway after the game, and I've got to say the hospitality of the Norwegians was absolutely fantastic. We went to Varden. Varden was recommended to us, and when you get to the top of Varden, you can see 222 mountaintops, which is just ridiculous, but it was an absolutely beautiful place. And as you can see, it was Molde who, once again, they make a better start than us. Every team seems to be able to start so sharply against us. They wasted an opportunity for me. I feel they should have slotted that home and be 1-0 up, but thankfully they weren't. Ed is doing some good business for us, cutting inside, but that was the story of the first sort of 20-25 minutes. You know, we just couldn't seem to break Molde down. They were very stout, they were very strong defensively. Maxi Lopez getting on the ball. Obviously we can't sell Maxi because he's a loanee. Knocking it out to left hand side for Simon Poulsen, who I said we'll play when we're desperate, we are, and he's playing on the left mid. As you can see at the bottom screen, he was pushing so far up, it's ridiculous. Ball comes to Marcelo, he sticks onto his left foot and he sticks it in the bottom corner. What a crackerjack finish. Marcelo is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Love him, adore him. Brilliant, brilliant player. But Molde weren't done. They decided to step the game up, came hammering back at us, and once again they missed a great opportunity, though I do feel it might have been a penalty because Sergio did clatter him quite hard, to be fair, and then Rossini being a bit cocky, trying to skill move in the wrong position at the wrong time. We tried to clear the ball and we failed. That is a dismal clearance, and thankfully Sergio was well and truly alert to the situation and pulled off a world-class save. There's no other word for that. That was absolutely an epic save. And we went in at half-time winning 1-0. And I felt pretty confident because we had been playing good football, but Molde had been, forcing their way back into the game. Start of the second half, Molde do exactly that. A great finish. That was a beautiful stint of football there, and it just knocked it into him. First time strike into that top corner was fantastic, and they didn't seem like they were done. Again, they had a great opportunity to take a 2-1 lead. Wasted, for me, a very good opportunity, and it's one of those strange things I'm going to say. I think he got too much of a good connection. He hit it too sweetly. He wanted to slightly miss it, and that probably would have flew into the top corner, but he got such a good connection it just went wide. We had a corner. Poulsen swings it over to the back post. Not the greatest corner, but it comes out to Marcelo on the edge of the box. And he does the business for us, swatting it home with his right foot in the 60th minute into that bottom corner, which was fantastic. He can score with either foot. He's brilliant. His weak foot is just as good as his strong foot. He's absolutely phenomenal. And as you can see, full-time whistle went. Mould 1, Sampdoria 2, and 3 much-needed points. You know, that really does start to push us up towards those playoffs. As you know, we were a point off Sao Paulo, who are on 50 points. We were on 49 points, so it's really pushed us right up there. As you can see, we get a transfer offer for Enzo. Now, obviously, Enzo is 32 years old. He's very unhappy. He's not going to get to play for us, so 1.1 million is fine. That's 300,000 below his value. I'm not fussed. I will take 1.1 million. It's cash in the hand, it's cash on the hip, it's cash in our bank account, which is fantastic. And again, Marco Rojas, Melbourne Victory have turned us down. Now, I understand 180 or 150,000 was a little bit of a cheeky offer. And yes, I was trying my hand, but you know, he's on a 6-month deal, so surely there is a figure in their head that they want. So I'm going to go back with 200,000, and hopefully they're going to come back to us and say 200k is fantastic, take him off our hands, and we have a decent player who we can use in a few positions and rotate the whole squad, which is very, 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 very important, as you know. Now, striker-wise, I've got to say, I looked at this guy's stats and I sat down, I looked and I looked. I mean, I like his shot power, I like his finishing, I like his dribbling, his ball control, I like his strength, I like his sprint speed, I like his acceleration. And there wasn't many things I found that I didn't like about him. And I thought, you know what, it's going to be worth a punt. Now, Ed is going to be the player we're going to sacrifice. He's 26 years old, okay? So bringing in a 20-year-old for a 26-year-old means we are planning for the future. This is what we need to be doing because we want to get to the Superliga Premier at the end of the day, and we've got, you know, we need to do that in 3 to 4 years, and hopefully we will do that. So we've offered the money. As you can see, FC20 are more than happy to sell him to us. Now I was quite shocked because they're in the same league as us, so I was expecting them not to take this deal, but they did. So hopefully, as long as we get the contract right, we will have a new striker to come in and add to the team, because I think Icardi and Luke going forward are going to be 2 world-class strikers, and thankfully they're at Sampdoria, which is fantastic. And again, Melbourne, what is the problem? They've turned us down for 200k, so I'm going to go back with 245,000. He has 6 months left on his contract, so I don't understand the whole issue. You know, that surely they want some cash before he walks away on a free transfer. They say no yet again. Thankfully, the contract is agreed and we sign it off. And we have just brought in potentially a world-class striker to add to Icardi, who I think is going to be a world-class striker, without a shadow of a doubt, added to the fact we have Polly and Vilhena. It's quite a scary thought at this moment in time. As you can see, I did get rid of Poulsen. I apologise if you like Poulsen as a player, but I've got to say, a left-back who has a high attacking work rate and a low defensive work rate is just not for me, I'm afraid. If I want to play 4 at the back, I can't do it with him. And yes, I was talking about Clarkey of Aston Villa, the young lad, 23 years old. I believe he's Irish. I'm not 100% sure if he is Irish, but I'm pretty sure he is Irish. 23 years old. He looks like he's got a lot of potential, and he's a player that's been recommended to me from my West Ham career mode, and it's a player that I wanted to use and bring in, but I brought in, I believe it was Stevie C, Big Stephen Colker, and I was very chuffed with Colker, to be honest. He's a freaking amazing defender, but I wanted the opportunity to use Clark, and as you can see, they only wanted 3.1 million for Clarkey, and he had 1 year, 6 months left on his contract. We're going to give him exactly what he wants, a 4-year deal. We're going to give him 10 grand a week, and that's 800,000 under his actual stat value, which to me is probably the deal of the season. You know, I can only liken this to, I think it was a season or two ago, there was a lad who came from Spain, went to Swansea. His name was Mishu. They bought him for £2 million. That's how good this deal is to me. That is how good this deal is. He is going to be phenomenal. We've picked him up under his value, and I think we've picked up a pretty damn impressive player. I think he's going to grow into an absolute legend. As you can see, we're still doing business. We're still getting rid of the dead wood as such. Now, talking about tanks in the centre of the park, someone who can play CM, someone who can play a CDM, and if needs be, someone who can play a centre-back, which is just phenomenal. And I decided that I was going to have a look at Victor Wanyama. Now, I know he's got a high attacking work rate and a medium defensive work rate, but that's good. I'm happy with that because that means he will get a little bit forward and he will cause some damage going forward because he has a great engine on him. I mean, he's got some serious stamina. He really does look phenomenal to me personally. And he's a player that was, once again, recommended in this West Ham career mode. Someone I've never, ever had the pleasure of using, and someone we tried to bring in countless times for West Ham, and we just couldn't get the price right, we couldn't get the deal right, and I wanted to bring him in. At the end of the day, I want to bring him in. I feel he can do a huge job for Sampdoria. I feel he gives us more depth within our squad from a defensive point of view, as a centre-back and as a CDM. I think he then allows a lot of opportunity for the likes of Polly to move forward and play further up the pitch, give him greater rotation, because we can't rely on, obviously, Dennis the Menace and Vilhena to do all the business. When you've got a player like Polly who's got some epic passing ability, short and long, and he can shoot with either foot, you've got to be playing him in cam at times. And hopefully we're going to get this deal right. I think it's a good deal. I think it should hopefully go through. And yes, obviously not. And it's going to be back to the same old drawing board. Celtic basically want more money. So this is our final stint for him. If we don't get this done correctly, he won't become a Sampdoria player, which would be a shame. And thankfully, they accepted £2.5 million plus Tizzy, which I'm sad to lose Tizzy. But Tizzy is 26 years old. Wanyama is 21 years old. And I think Wanyama's going to do us a huge job, to be honest. I really feel that he can do us a huge job. And as you can see, it's been accepted. He's taken it on board. He's getting £7,000 a week, which I think is an absolute bargain, to be quite frank. And he's become a Sampdoria player. So I feel we've just brought in 3 brilliant players, and we haven't lost that feeling of the team being Sampdoria. We've got Icardi, who we're not going to be ever selling. We've got Marcelo, he's too good to sell. We've got Niad, he's not going anywhere. Rossini, has he actually signed his contract? I'm still unaware, but we're not going to get rid of Rossini if we can't. If we can help it, we don't want to get rid of a decent centre-back. Now, we've got Poli, we've got Pedro, we've got Sergio. We've got such a good nucleus of Sampdoria players. And we just brought in players just around the edge to help them out. And Pedro thinks his position is in jeopardy. He's got nothing to worry about. Honestly, nothing to worry about. It's going to be rotational. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed the signings. And I can't wait to join you in the next episode.